Happy Wednesday. Happy Wednesday. What's going on, Facebook world? How's everybody doing? What's going on in your world? What's going on in your world? Welcome to the platform today. It's Shabaka Amin coming at you live. And I have a special interview today with the Honorable Shirley L. Fulton. But before I introduce my guests, let me know who's on live. If you're on live watching right now, leave a comment. Let me know that you're going to be joining us live right now. Let us know where you're joining live from, what state, what city, and we'll take it from there. How's your Wednesday going? How is your day flowing? And my guests will be available shortly. But in the meantime and in between time, I want you all to leave a comment. If you're joining me live right now, make sure to leave a comment. Let us know that you are in the virtual house. And so welcome, welcome, welcome. And feel free to share. The basis of this interview today is you get a chance to watch and listen to the Honorable Shirley L. Fulton's PlantBased Loser story. And what makes that so special is here's an African-American woman, former judge, who's in her 60s, made a decision to embark upon a health success journey. And oftentimes, when people in their later years, they tend to be stuck in their habits. They tend to not pursue improvement, especially in the areas of health. So in my book, Miss Fulton is an unusual woman, and she is an African-American woman, and she'll be joining us shortly. So I want you to leave a comment. If you're joining live right now, leave a comment. Let me know that you're on, where you're on from, where do you reside, what city, what state, before we go into the interview. So welcome to this platform. Thank you for joining. Thank you for joining. Happy Wednesday. What's going on in your world? Tell me what's going on in your world. So what I'm going to do, looks like I have a few people on watching live. Make sure to leave a comment, and I will acknowledge you once you let me know. I'm going to take this hat off. I just actually came in, and I worked out this morning, got my workout in, started eating my kiwi, but I had to stop eating my kiwi because I had to give attention to something. So it's been a pretty full day, back-to-back stuff. You know how it is. You have a schedule and you're striving to keep up with your own schedule, right? And so it's been one of those days that's been pretty full. But again, if you're watching live, don't be shy. Tell me who you are, leave a comment so I can see who's on watching live, and let me know what city you are out of. All right? Looking forward to that before I bring my guest on, before I even introduce my guest. So looking for some comments, and you can go ahead and share this with others. It's going to be a really cool conversation. You're going to, again, discover how this one African-American woman, former judge, the Honorable Shirley L. Fulton, what her experience was like adopting a plant-based eating style for 21 days. You're going to find out how her biology adapted, what types of rewards and results she was able to experience. I think you're going to be in for a pleasant surprise. You're going to be amazed, shocked, and amazed. And if you are focused on transformation, if you're focused on weight loss, if you're pursuing weight loss, if you are, let me make sure my guest has the right link. I just got a text from her, and hopefully she is using the right link, because we attempted the same interview last week, and she should be on shortly, so please bear with us. So I think you're in for a treat. And if you have been thinking about adopting a whole foods plant-based eating style, after you hear this interview, I believe you are going to go from interest to wanting to experience it firsthand. You know, information is cool. That opens you up to some of the benefits, some of the science, some of the evidence supporting why humans should adopt a whole foods plant-based eating style. And this is why it's so popular, because of the benefits, because of the rewards. Now, take it from me. I just turned 49 years young. That's right. I said it. 49 years young. I know you find it hard to believe. Don't I look like I'm 32 or something like that? So 49 years young. Now, what's so cool is in biology, there's a branch of biology called telomere biology. And you may have heard me speak about this, but telomeres are the end caps that are at the tips of our DNA strands. We're talking about within the cell, within our cells. We have strands of DNA, of course, and the telomeres are the end caps at the tips of our DNA strands. And what they know in medical science and scientifically is that when your telomeres shorten, they can see cancer, they can see heart disease, they can see other chronic diseases. But they've identified that a whole foods plant-based eating style is one of the practices. In fact, the whole foods plant-based eating style, when done properly, is considered lifestyle medicine. And a whole foods plant-based eating style that consists of leafy greens and other colorful vegetables and fruits and seeds and legumes or beans, lentils, peas, lengthens telomeres. And when you lengthen your telomeres, you improve your metabolic health. But they also know lengthened telomeres impact your lifespan, longevity, how long you live, as well as quality of life. So what I'm going to do is start interviewing. I'm actually going to introduce my guest, because we attempted this interview last week, and because I did not have the Ethernet, which I do now, we were getting all types of interferences using Wi-Fi. I didn't have a strong enough Wi-Fi, but now I'm using Ethernet and everything is good. So if you bear with me for a moment, I'm going to introduce my guest, and let me find that information. Well, actually, this is what I'm going to do. I'm going to adapt in real time. And hello, Shirley.
Hi.
Good afternoon. Can you hear me well? Can you hear me well?
I can.
Okay, good. And you can see me. I can see you and I can hear you well. How's your day going?
Just very busy.
You look great. I hadn't seen
Thank
you in a
you.
couple weeks. but I can see the impact.
No, it's been a while.
Huh? What's
I
that?
know. I said I haven't seen you either. It's been a while.
I know. But what's so cool is because hey, 22 years coaching people and training people, I have a trained eye to notice change. So, and
And
and and the way you appear now is very different than when we started. And I know you see it.
I know that.
And look, I told you so.
You did. You did.
And didn't it sound too good to be true?
It did. And there were some bumps in the road, but we got through them.
There you go. There you go.
Hmm.
So what we're going to do is before we go into and I want to mention first of all I want to say Shirley, thank you for granting me this second interview because the first attempt didn't go through too well because of technical difficulties. I didn't have a strong Wi-Fi signal, but I'm using Ethernet and
Okay.
everything is nice and everything is stable. So thank you for taking out time to join me again. And it is so important. I was just telling the audience before you came on, letting the viewers know that you're a former judge. Could you let the audience give us a little bit of bio info on your experiences, what type of judge, how long you served, your experiences as an attorney, what you do now?
I came to Charlotte in 1982 as a prosecutor. Served 5 years as a prosecutor. Then I was appointed by Governor Martin to be a district court judge. Served 2 years in that role. And then I was elected by the people of North Carolina in 1988 to serve as a Superior Court judge. At that time, I was the only African American female on the Superior Court bench. I served in that role for 16 years, traveling the highways and byways of North Carolina to serve as a judge in many counties. You know, when you're a Superior Court judge, it's like if we watch the old Westerns, and people would say, just you wait until the judge gets here. Well, that was sort of me riding the roads, but Charlotte has always been my home base, and I would be assigned out, but I would always come home. And after 16 years, I left the bench. I just wanted to do something different and had some illness to sort of search for me and where I wanted to go with my life. I practiced law for 5 years and I taught at Charlotte School of Law and also was very heavily involved in the community. Now I'm retired and I am still doing things in the community. I have a mentoring program that I do with 8th grade students. They're at Wilson High School. Last year, I was at Burns Elementary School. So that's my life now, sort of a short history of where I came from and how I got to where I am now.
That's awesome. And I get the impression, Shirley, because I remember over the years before I even met you, I've been in Charlotte for 22 years, so I've heard of your name, the past 2 decades. So I get the impression you've made history as an African American woman as far as in the judicial space. Would that be safe to say and accurate?
Absolutely. I mean, when I entered the judiciary, I was, of course, in a man's world, and in addition to being in a man's world, most of the men in that world were white males. So coming in as a Black female was sort of a phenomenon.
Wow. Yeah. Well, congrats on being a trailblazer and for all the stuff you do. Because in my short amount of time of getting to know you, you're a pretty busy lady, even to this day.
Yeah.
Can we train? Come on.
I still get called on to do a lot of things,
Hey, that's that.
but I am going to train.
I know you are. I know you are. I know you are. And so this is a good segue point. I want everybody to know. So Shirley, she's part of my plant-based personal training program, and we've had a few sessions outdoors in the park. But the most powerful, the most influential aspect of my program, in my own opinion, I mean, exercise is very important. However, adopting a whole foods plant-based eating style, I would say, is even more important because you can exercise frequently and still have heart disease. You can exercise on a regular basis and still have cancer. You can exercise on a regular basis and still have hypertension, type 2 diabetes, uterine fibroids. So exercise doesn't prevent chronic diseases. However, a whole foods plant-based eating style has been clinically and scientifically proven to prevent, arrest, and reverse these conditions, whether you exercise or not. Now, should you exercise? Yeah. So this is a good segue point because Shirley, let the viewers know how young you are. What's your age?
My age is 68, 68 years young.
68 years young, African American woman. And before you came on, I let the viewers know in my observation, 22 years, and I've had a lot of time to observe people's behavior and patterns, especially in my area of expertise. It's rare to have an African American woman in your phase of life that is focused on health success. That is rare. I don't always have customers in their 60s with the level of commitment that you've made in the past. Has it been about 5 weeks, 6 weeks?
It's been closer to 8 weeks.
Okay.
Maybe 6 or 7. Yeah.
And when I say commitment, I'm talking about the eating commitment. A lot of people will opt to exercise, but surely you have decided to raise your standard around what you consume. And as I said to you in the beginning, if you give it 100%, I made all these bold claims. I know you're like, you having a judicial mind and a attorney's mind. Like, okay, he was recommended by Mick. I trust Mick, and his spirit is he seems very genuine. So
Yeah.
I'm gonna trust him. I'm gonna give it 100%, and you did. Describe what your energy level was like prior to starting. What was a normal day for you, energy-wise?
Well, my normal day was I would get up and move around the house for a while, maybe get out, but I was always in a car, headed one place or another. And now I am more energetic. I have a park right next door to me, and I get out in the park and walk and just, I'm in a very walkable community. So I'm really proud of that because the more I walk, the more energy I gain by doing that.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. So if you compare your energy now as opposed to before starting, how would you rate it? Let's say, was your energy before starting, would you say at a D or C level, A being the highest?
Probably at a D plus to a C minus.
Mm-hmm. And how would you describe your energy levels now?
Probably a B plus.
Wow.
I still have a little bit of growing to do, but I'm at a B plus.
The exercise frequency is going to bring that A plus level. Do you feel like you have a new body? Do you feel like you've gone through a regeneration?
Yes. And I'm loving it. losing weight and things that I used to not be able to wear. I can wear them now. So I'm excited.
That's good. That's good. And see, this spring, as I told you at the beginning, you saw all this zeal, all this excitement, and I made sense to you. But I look forward to these moments when we can look back at when I was making these bold claims, and to weeks later, a month later, ask questions and relate this experience of transformation. I do this work because I look for these moments right here where the customer can tell me they are enjoying living in their bodies now.
Yeah.
And so this, and we talked about this. Describe, in your estimation, how your skin was before starting and how you would describe your skin now.
Well, I'm 68 years old when I started. I'm 68 years old now. And I think my skin has started to glow. It's much smoother. And I look at myself in the mirror a lot now. And I'm really proud of where I am. I'm looking forward to growing some more.
I remember saying to you after maybe it was like within 7 days of you being on the meal plan, I said, Shirley, or maybe the following week, I said, Shirley, I'm seeing your vibrant brown pigment come through. Remember I said that to you?
I do. And I was like, sure. Uh-huh.
And I said, because I could see a difference here, and I call the old skin was on the side, but I could see the skin turnover happening. And then we
Yeah.
talked like a week or so, and I said, do you see what I was saying to you now? And at that point you were like, yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
And honestly, from last week to now, I
Yeah.
see a change. It's,
Yeah. I
it's
can see it.
oh my God, it's you now versus 5, 6 weeks ago. It's like a person, different person.
Hmm.
It is
Yeah.
glowing, it's radiant. And now, of course, I recommend, and we won't reveal what specific product, but one of the things I said to you, you were losing weight. And how much weight have you lost total so far?
I've lost 15 pounds. Yay.
15 pounds.
Mhm.
Now, she is participating in the Plant-Based Loser Challenge, and she's on a 21-day plant-based weight loss plan. It's a plant-based metabolic weight loss plan I formulated. And most of my one-on-one customers are on the plant-based metabolic weight loss plan. Now you can access it. You don't have to train with me. You don't have to do the exercise component. You can enroll in a plant-based loser challenge. But Shirley, you lost 15 pounds.
Yes.
Do you feel you have more energy, so you feel lighter?
Yes, definitely.
Describe the process. What you said you went through the tough period. I said to you, I said, you're losing weight, but it's not happening as fast as normal. And we had a talk, and I said, oh, I had my light bulb moment. I said, I know what it is. And I said, I'm going to get you on a two products to basically detoxify your small and large intestine. On those products, and we won't name them, it's part of the secret sauce. What did you experience initially? But once you got through it, what did you notice after you got through it?
Relief. I've been dealing with these issues for a while, and the products were God sent. And I am so happy that I found them because life is different now.
That's a beautiful thing. And what she's referring to is I put her on back in as early as 2000, 2001, probably before about 4 years. I used to put my one-on-one clients on a colon cleanse product. And so I recommended that Shirley get on the colon cleanse product because anybody focused on weight loss or anybody who's been on a Western diet for decades, what happens is it's common for people to experience an impacted waist. If you've been on white flour, if you've had white sugar in your system, if you've had cooked oils, the oils added to foods, what happens is there's a accumulation of waste material that clogs up the colon walls. So what that does, it prevents, even if you start eating nutrient and fiber-dense plant-based foods, you're not going to absorb everything into your system. So I said, Shirley, you're losing weight, but I know it can happen faster, and I figured out why it's not. So I got her on these products. She was diligent. She got right on them. And for maybe 5-6 days, you had stomach discomfort.
Yeah, yeah.
And I even gave you an explanation for the reason why that was occurring.
Yeah.
And as I predicted, it stopped. But after it stopped, what did you notice once you were past that part, being on these products?
I noticed an increase in my energy, and I was feeling better and much more comfortable in my skin. Because I've been just suffering for the most part from indigestion and gastronomic problems, because I grew up not only eating flour and sugar and all of those things and meat. I grew up on a farm doing it. And you know how farmers eat sort of differently, and they have big meals, and you're expected to participate in them if you're going to keep up with your energy to do the work that's expected on a farm. So I'd never not done that. And moving from that lifestyle to a plant-based lifestyle was a major move for me. And I don't miss the meat. I don't miss those products. So
Now,
all of my friends are amazed.
say that one more time for African Americans, because so many African Americans, many are shifting towards a plant-based eating style. But I want you to say that one more time because scientifically we know we don't need animal products for nutrition. For human nutrition, we don't need animal products. But let them hear what you just said. How do you feel consuming more plant-based foods and not eating animal products at all, including dairy, cheese, milk, eggs, and fish and poultry and beef? How do you feel?
I feel great. I don't miss it. Fried chicken especially, was one of my favorite. Mac and cheese, and I just stopped it all. I feel full almost all the time. I don't feel the need to snack at night once I've eaten my meals and go to bed. That's it. And I'm satisfied. So
are you saying that since you've been on this meal plan, it has freed you from addictive hunger or cravings for sugary, salty, and fatty processed foods?
absolutely. I'm not eating, the little things that sort of clog you up: bread, candy, all of those little things. I don't buy muffins anymore. So that makes it, I just don't have it in my refrigerator. And being a single mom and living by myself makes it a lot easier. My son has been listening to me rave about my change in life, and he was like, Oh no, Mom, you're not going to cook mac and cheese anymore. And I said, well, maybe I'll make you one.
And you can let them know that there is vegan mac and cheese.
Okay, good. I'll let him know.
I know of an African American chef in Charlotte named Chef Joya, and she makes the kind of vegan mac and cheese that is reminiscent of, say, an elder African American person in your family that's known for mac and cheese, but it's vegan, it's non-dairy. Her name is Chef Joy. I'll have to connect both of you. And of course, there's recipes for how you can make a vegan mac and cheese on your own. Um, but I think what's so remarkable about your plant-based journey is one African American woman, a mature African American woman, 68 years young, and you've literally gone from degeneration to regeneration. And in the beginning, I said to you, I said, Shirley, I know it sounds too good to be true, but your meals control and influence your metabolic condition. I said, you're going to go from metabolic dysfunction to metabolic regeneration, metabolic health. And I always like to let customers know in advance what will happen if they just commit to. And I said, I had this talk to you. I talked to you about this principle, spiritual principle of giving God's biology the foods that it was designed for, so that you can live with the rewards.
Yeah. Yeah.
Anything you want to share with African American women who, African American women, and I'm not sure if you know this, Shirley, but I'm going to bring it on screen because most African American women don't know this. And African American women have the highest rates of obesity or being overweight compared to other groups in the United States. About 4 out of 5 African American women are overweight or obese. 4 out of 5 African American women in America are overweight or obese. And me being a trainer and coach 22 years, I can see it. I can see it. Even without data, I can see it. It's widespread. African American women um, have the highest body fat percentages, have the highest BMIs more than any other ethnic group. And it can stop if we decide, if African American women and men decide to take 100% responsibility for their health destiny. And I've had conversations with you on that theme of God's biology deserves better. What would you tell any African American woman in light of now we have the coronavirus transmission going on, and the only folks that have died from COVID-19, black or white or any, regardless of race or ethnicity, is those with at least one or more pre-existing medical conditions. And these are medical conditions that a whole foods plant-based eating style, the evidence more than demonstrates can prevent, arrest, and reverse these medical conditions that upon people getting infected with the coronavirus, it causes them, in many cases, they are dying. Now, there's way more recoveries than people dying from COVID-19, but what would you have to say to an African American woman who is overweight, who may have high blood pressure, she may be borderline diabetic? You're a wise woman, a woman that's just went through this transformation, you made a commitment. What would you say to an African American woman in her 20s and her 30s and her 40s, and she may be dealing with some metabolic um, metabolic syndrome conditions, some health challenges, some chronic disease? What would you say? What would you recommend?
I would say that we are what we eat. I think it's important for them to know that I am a breast cancer survivor and the first stem cell transplant at Duke University back in 1996. which was my last bout with breast cancer. And even proof, I'm convinced truly that my diet had a lot to do with the breast cancer that came. I would not do the things that I had done before. And I was committed to that, but I just didn't know exactly what I needed to do until I found the plant-based diet. Now I was trying diets and started diets and stopped, but not getting the results I needed because I had other things that were going needed to address it. So I've addressed that, and I just feel like I'm on my way.
Yes, you are. Yes, you are. Well, I tell you what, Shirley, I'm so appreciative of the time you've taken to share this message. Now, the plant-based loser challenge is for all people. I have not just African Americans, I have Caucasian Americans. I got a guy in India who's part of the plant-based loser community. It's for all people. But as you all know, I have launched the Plant Based Day Pledge, where it's a public health demonstration encouraging African Americans nationwide to adopt a whole foods plant based eating style as a step towards metabolic health and a stand against food slavery. So I'm paying and I'm bringing more, I call thunder, and more encouragement and more information and inspiration so that African Americans can make a wise decision to take 100% responsibility for their health destiny. Now, being overweight, living with and managing pre-existing medical conditions is really an American problem. You know, white folks is dealing with it, black folks are dealing with it, Latino folks are dealing with it. It's an American problem all the way. So
Mhm.
if you're watching this right now and you know someone that's overweight, someone that wants to stop managing and medicating medical conditions that are treatable with a whole foods plant-based eating style, they ought to do the plant-based loser challenge. But Shirley, lastly, what would you recommend that someone participate in the 21-day plant-based loser challenge and why?
I think that the 21-day loser challenge sort of cleanses your body and gets you prepared for what's to come next. Um, I was sort of overwhelmed by the amount of food I had to eat and had to readjust my system to it. But I thought that I owed it to myself because I've made a commitment to myself that I'm not going to be on medication and I'm going to live a happy life. I'm on one medication right now. I've only been on one for the last 8 to 10 years, but I'm moving towards the goal of getting off of that medication because by doing the plant-based diet, I'm not going to need it.
That's right.
So I think we owe it to ourselves. We owe it to our children. Because I want to be around to see my son. You know, he's in a doctoral program. I want to see him be Dr. Kevin.
Mhm.
So,
That's right. Well, I tell you what, Shirley, I really appreciate you sharing your story. And hopefully, as you continue to transform, because there's more, um, I would love to bring you back on so that you can talk about some of the additional things you've noticed. Anything you want to share? Any nuances of changes? Of course, we talked about the skin transformation. Your skin is radiant and glowing. And
mhm.
you see would you go as far as saying that the pigment, the skin that you see now is reminiscent of what 20 years ago, 15 years ago? What would you say around that?
Yeah, as I was getting a little older and aging, I started noticing puffiness around my eyes.
Mhm.
I can notice the difference in the level of that now, and it's going away.
That's right.
I can only attribute that to my diet.
Absolutely. Have you noticed any changes in your hair growth or your nail growth? Because I always have, uh, in doing this for 22 years, oftentimes most of my customers have been women. They talk to me about noticing changes in their nail density and their hair growth. Have you noticed any other changes outside of the skin transformation, energy improvements, what the fat
Mhm.
loss? What else have you noticed that kind of struck you as like, oh,
Well, my nails are strong. These are my nails, not the fake nails or the artificial nails. And my hair is growing like a weed. When I was younger, I had long hair. But as we get older and we go away to college, you always cut it off. And now my hair is coming back, and you can see that it's getting longer. It's almost to my shoulder.
so you have
And
noticed a change in your hair growth.
and my hair texture. Yeah, my hair texture is totally different than what it was before I started all of the diet and changed my eating habits.
All right. Well,
Yeah.
folks, you heard that. And this is a testament, you know, God made plant-based foods. I mean, if you never read one nutrition book in your life, there's something to be said about foods that are natural, that come from trees, that come from the ground, that are full of fiber, full of vitamins, minerals, antioxidants, phytonutrients, everything, water, protein, fats, carbs, that have been proven to cause health. You don't need a book. You don't need a nutrition book to kind of make that connection. And then there's man-made foods that are proven to create chronic diseases. And so I appreciate you, Shirley, because um, you are a person who's decided to take back your health, and it was God given in the first place, and you've reclaimed um, your God-given health potential. You're activating it meal by meal. So I appreciate your dedication and devotion to you. But it's something to be said about, well, hold up, like this is on loan. We had that conversation. This is God's biology. How can I just eat from my own will and 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 just the arrogance in our culture of I can eat whatever I want,
Mm.
you know? And that's gotten us in a lot of trouble in America. So I commend you. I congratulate you. Thank you for giving me the opportunity to share what's God given, this knowledge, this experience, this wisdom of how to care for this temple. And I appreciate you being, true to that. And hey, look, you went from ramifications to rewards.
Yes.
So thank you again. Keep keeping on, as we say. We'll schedule some sessions soon. Let me know when you're available. And how long has it been? Last question. How long have you gone without eating animal products now?
I haven't eaten animal products since I've been in the program, so about 7 weeks. And
Beautiful.
I am amazed that I don't miss it. I expected to miss it, and I don't.
I tell people that all the time. And it's not something that people can be convinced. They only would know it if they experience it.
Absolutely.
So,
I would have never believed it.
So I thank you again. Thanks for your commitment. Congratulations on being a magnificent plant-based loser, having lost 15 pounds of body fat so far, and also, all the other rewards: the hair growth, the improvement in hair texture, the skin radiance, more energy. There's
Hmm.
numerous rewards, and there's even more to come. I thank you, Shirley. I appreciate you, and spread the word. Let your friends know. Hey, look, if you want to arrest and reverse aging, call Shabaka.
Absolutely, I will do that.
And so, thank you again for your time. Have an amazing day, and let me know when you want to resume training as well.
Okay, I will, Amy.
Thank you, Shirley. I appreciate you.
Okay, bye-bye.
Oh, yeah. Bye-bye. So you heard that, folks. A whole foods plant-based eating style has numerous rewards. You heard it from the Honorable Shirley L. Fulton. Now, if you want to know how to go about participating in this amazing program, I've got a link for you. So let's see. Here we go. If you need to lose some pounds and keep those pounds off, if you need to get free from addictive hunger that's causing you to consume sugary, salty, and fatty processed foods where you never feel satisfied, and you're in this metabolic state of progressive weight gain that I call waiting, WEIGHTING, waiting, the metabolic state of progressive weight gain, and you need an intervention, you need a coach, you need a community, you need support, you need a guideline, and you need guidance. I care, I love you, and I may not know you, but I still love you because I know for a fact that you are deserving and worthy of health success. It's time. You and I both know it. Leave a comment, put I'm ready to be a plant-based loser, or how can I get started, Shabaka? Leave a comment beneath this video. You have the link, www.theplantbasedloser.com, theplantbasedloser.com. As you can see, share this link with others. Being overweight and obese isn't just a cosmetic issue, it's a metabolic issue. It's time. You deserve health success, and you can activate your metabolic health potential meal by meal. I would love for you to experience what I formulated. It's a plant-based metabolic weight loss plan. Every single customer, we're approaching 100, every single customer that has participated in the 21-day plant-based weight loss challenge has easily lost weight, has gotten free from food addiction. And if you want to lose anywhere from 17 to 26 pounds in 21 days, you know what to do. Have an amazing remainder of your day. Thanks for joining me live. I'll talk to you soon.